Good morning, friend. I have finished listening to the new Edward Art video and I love it. And I just wanted to come and make a really short video about how everything in my life has changed since I really started literally taking to heart everything that Edward Art talks about. Law of Attraction got me so far, but Edward Art took me the rest of the way and allowed me to really come back to myself. What I found was that I had abandoned myself over and over and over. And it's so, we're conditioned to do that. It's nothing to beat yourself up about if you can just, in a moment, when something outside of you is going on, if you can give yourself what you want. And by that I mean, don't resist whatever's happening. Let that go. And because otherwise you're abandoning yourself by not being in alignment with who you really are, which is I am, right? So it's about coming back to yourself, giving yourself what you want, because any moment of resistance is telling you that you're having a conflicted feeling or belief, and it probably means that you've believed otherwise. So a good example would be if someone outside of you is saying things and you're feeling upset and you don't understand why they're being that way. In that moment, instead of joining them in that space or getting upset, ask yourself what you want and maybe separate yourself from that interaction, and then give yourself an interaction that is wanted. Because what I find is that everything outside of you reflects back to you what you're giving to yourself. So if you abandon yourself, which is something that I've spent most of my life doing, I've abandoned myself in favor of believing or listening or accepting things unwanted, things about me, things about the world, things that shouldn't have my attention, because when they do, it just creates chaos in your imagination world, you know, because then you start giving that to yourself instead of what you want. And I hope that makes sense, because I just want to share how much better, how much easier, how much freer everything in my life has become when I stopped abandoning myself and I showed up and I was safe and I am safe and I have this relationship with myself now where in a moment I have the power and I have the choice to express what I want in my imagination, within myself. And when I do that, everything falls into place and I don't have to push or struggle or resist anything outside of me. Nothing outside of me has the power to take away my peace and my beingness, right? That's ultimately what started me making these videos, because I really didn't know what I was wanting to do other than just be honest and share my journey. And when I started my video channel here on YouTube, I feel like I was a hot mess, you know? I'm sure I had some grasp on a lot of good things, but I wasn't applying it effectively until, you know, it's taken me several months of just letting go of reason, like Edward says. Just let go of the external world, because it's only reflecting back to you what you're continually believing and giving to yourself. Well, I decided I was safe, and the more I do this, the more everyone outside of me shows up, and they just blow my mind with the beauty and the love and the grace that I keep giving to myself. They keep reflecting that back to me. So there really truly is nothing to fear. We may be walking through the valley of the shadow of death, but there's nothing to fear, because thou art with me. When you stop abandoning yourself, you see and you feel and you know all along that you're loved and you're safe and you're secure in the beingness of you, and that was never at risk. It was never something that could be taken away from you. It was just something that, for me personally, I wasn't paying attention to. I wasn't allowing myself to resonate and to assume the truths about myself so fully. And I think it's okay. That's why we're here sorting through this, is to figure out how to let go of what's unwanted. And I've come to this realization that it's so much easier to just give yourself what you want, not abandon yourself in the times when you want something. Don't talk yourself out of it. That's abandoning yourself. Don't ask yourself, what are you doing wrong? Just decide what you want to do right. Don't ask yourself, why is something the way it is? Just decide how you want that something to be, and then assume it. Give that to yourself. It really works. I'm not making this shit up. It works. I watch any of my back videos. I've been pretty transparent about a lot of the stuff that I've been going through in my life, and especially within these last 5 years. And it hasn't been easy. But I made it so much harder than it needed to be. And that's okay, because I'm not beating myself up about that. You can't know what you don't know when you don't know what you don't know, right? But as you start asking yourself these questions, where am I abandoning myself? And then see where that's at, and then give yourself what you want. Show up for yourself. Accept and believe that you deserve the most beautiful, lovely existence you can imagine. And then when you start doing that, I Am comes in and just blows the top off of what you're imagining and gives you more, gives you even more to experience. Your life will begin to open up in ways that you might be currently struggling to imagine. But don't stop. Don't give up. Don't abandon yourself. Just believe and know that you will start experiencing what is inside of you, and it will be reflected back to you. This has been my experience, and I wouldn't come on here and talk a load of nonsense to you. Maybe it doesn't resonate with all of who listen to me, but the people who these videos are meant to be shared with, who you'll understand. you'll start to feel it and it'll start to resonate with you. So on this beautiful rainy autumn day and all the trees are turning in the Ozarks, I hope you love yourself as much as you can imagine possible, because you deserve it. And fall in love with your life. And I swear everything in your life will change. Until we talk again, friend, much love.